The movie begins in California, where Ben Haddon and his cousin Ally are assigned to transport diamonds to a jewelry shop owned by Sammy Kashum. Ally is a rookie and clearly nervous. Ben asks if he brought his gun and tells him to load it in case something goes wrong. At the same time, Davis wakes up, arms himself, and tracks a man named Mashud using a device he secretly planted earlier. He follows Mashud, blocks his car, pulls a gun on him, checks him for weapons, takes his phone, and locks him inside the trunk before driving away in Mashud's vehicle. Back at the jewelry shop, Sammy questions Ally's readiness since he has never seen him before. Ally insists he can handle the job. Sammy gives Ben a briefcase filled with fake diamonds. Then he privately reveals the truth. They are transporting 2 sets of diamonds worth around $3 million. The real diamonds must be hidden in Ben's socks. He orders Ben not to tell Ally. Sammy also hands over his personal gun and hints that a car outside will follow them for protection. As Ben and Ally leave, Davis parks outside the shop and begins following them. After they reach a quieter delivery area, Davis puts on a mask, crashes into their car, and steps out pointing a gun. Ally freezes. Davis threatens Ben, claiming he has backup watching them. He demands the real diamonds and the paperwork proving their value, making it clear he is not interested in the briefcase. Ben initially pretends not to understand, but when Music Davis mentions Saraya, the threat turns personal. Realizing Davis knows too much, Ben finally admits the real diamonds are hidden in his left sock. He slowly removes them, revealing that the transport was staged with fake stones in the case. Davis takes the diamonds and even comments about Ben's phone backups, making it clear this was never random. As Davis gets back into his car to leave, Ally suddenly grabs the old gun and fires. The bullet misses and shatters the glass behind Davis. Reacting instantly, Davis reverses and speeds away. He drives through the streets and into a parking garage, shaken by how close he came to dying. There he removes his eye contacts, wipes himself down, covers the car, and switches to another vehicle before disappearing. At the same time, Sharon arrives at Monroe's house to sell him an insurance policy. She compliments his luxurious home and explains her company offers maximum protection for high-value assets. Monroe shows her what looks like a thermostat, but it is actually a fingerprint-activated panic safe. With one touch from him or his daughter, a hidden safe opens instantly. He proudly reveals there is one in every room, explaining that 2 of his friends were victims of home invasions. Suddenly, he asks Sharon if she has ever fired a Glock. She nervously agrees to try, misses the shot, and Monroe laughs it off. Back inside, Monroe shows her artwork worth $6.2 million and insists it be included in the policy. Sharon highlights additional coverage, including cyber protection and privacy safeguards. She also mentions coverage for his daughter when she leaves for college. A woman walks in and Sharon assumes she is the daughter, but Monroe corrects her. She is his fiancée, Adrienne. Embarrassed, Sharon quickly adjusts and shifts the conversation to wedding coverage. Shortly after, she leaves, frustrated and uncertain about securing the client. Meanwhile, detectives Lou and his partner investigate the robbery near the 101 freeway. They question Ben, pointing out the suspicious timing. The one day he transports nearly $3 million is the day he gets robbed. They ask why the robber knew his wife's name. Ben denies leaking any information, calling it victim blaming. Ally admits he fired his gun, but it misfired. The detectives also question why the robber avoided shooting when he had the chance. Lou shares his theory. He believes this is the work of a criminal they have been tracking, someone who hacks communications, targets high-value deliveries, cuts cameras in advance, avoids unnecessary violence, and operates near the 101 before disappearing quickly. His partner warns him to be certain, reminding him his low clearance rate cannot afford another mistake. At the same time, Davis reaches his apartment and pours the diamonds into a cup. As he looks at his mask, he notices blood stains. A sudden realization hits him. There may also be blood left inside the getaway car in the parking garage. Meanwhile, Sharon returns to her office. When colleagues ask about Monroe, she says he is reviewing the quote. She also asks about the partners meeting regarding her promotion, but Phil avoids giving a direct answer, saying senior leadership still needs to decide. After the robbery, Davis meets the man who launders the money and sells the stolen goods. The man asks how it went. Davis admits there was a small incident but no police, just some kid. He jokes about bad omens with winter coming, but the man dismisses it and says he is just shaken. With this job and another one planned in Santa Barbara, they are set for a strong year. Davis reminds him that he takes all the risks while others profit from selling the goods. What bothers him is the Santa Barbara job. It is supposed to happen in broad daylight through the front door with people around. That is not his style. Someone could get hurt. The man shrugs and asks if he has a better plan. Davis says they are working on it. When the name Jonathan comes up, it is clear another piece of the operation is already moving. That same night, Davis begins researching Sharon, digging into her background. Meanwhile, Sharon attends a team meeting where she is paired with a new colleague, Mayline Adcock, to handle high-net-worth residential clients. Sharon updates the team about the promising Monroe estate and wedding policy. But Phil shifts the focus to a major issue, a seven-figure claim from jeweler Samir Kazem. The courier was robbed on the exact day he transported $3 million in diamonds. Too convenient. Phil suggests Sharon use her police contacts to arrange polygraphs for both the jeweler and the courier. Sharon hesitates, wanting to follow up with Monroe, but Mayline quickly volunteers to take over that account. Sharon agrees, sensing the politics behind the move. At the same time, Sammy Kazem is questioned about the robbery. Investigators point out the suspicious timing. Sammy becomes defensive, saying he has run his store for 27 years and even expanded to 2 more locations. Why would he risk everything now? He insists he did not call anyone about the delivery, only sent an email. Detective Lou explains the danger. If the robber hacked his email, he could have known the shipment details. Similar cases involved hacked emails, calendar invites, and social media activity. As this conversation unfolds, Davis pays a hacker to dig into Sharon's social media. He wants to know who she talks to and what she knows. It becomes clear he is not only planning robberies, he is studying the insurance side as well. Elsewhere, Money meets Orman about the Santa Barbara job. Money says his usual guy backed out, afraid someone might get hurt. Orman compares him to his father, who never hesitated. This job, he says, is a test. If Money wants to prove himself, this is the moment. Can he handle it? He says yes. Later, Davis stops at a red light when a woman named Maya crashes into his car. She angrily asks why he stopped. Davis calmly points out the red light and asks if she is okay. She snaps back that she's late and the car belongs to her boss. After the accident, Maya asks for Davis's insurance details. He tries to avoid it and instead pulls out a thick stack of cash, offering to pay for the damage immediately. He says there is no need to involve insurance. Maya studies him and asks if he always carries that much money. He brushes it off, saying he just wants to keep things simple, but she refuses. If she does not report it properly, she could lose her job. Reluctantly, Davis gives her his information. Before leaving, he notices a child's car seat in the back and asks if she has kids. She quickly explains it is her boss's car. Her boss has twins. Davis says he does not have kids either. They part ways. Later, Sharon meets Detective Lou at a cafe to discuss the Kazem robbery. She suggests polygraph tests for both the jeweler and the courier. Lou questions her motives, asking if this is about justice or avoiding a large insurance payout. The conversation turns into a debate about wealth and security. Sharon argues that once people have money, what they want most is protection. Lou counters with crime data. The robbery fits a pattern, likely an inside job. Back at the station, Lou presents his findings. He filters past cases, removing small robberies, violent incidents, and those with DNA evidence. What remains shows a pattern. High-value courier robberies along the 101 freeway. No unnecessary violence, clean escapes. He believes one careful criminal is behind them all. At the same time, Orman carries out a jewelry store robbery. He storms in, shouting, demanding access to the safe. Not trusting the staff, He forces an employee toward a car to retrieve a key. Panicked, the employee cooperates. Orman grabs as many valuables as possible and escapes. When Lou presents his broader theory, his lieutenant shuts him down. Some cases already have suspects, and reopening them would hurt the department's clearance rate. The priority, the lieutenant says, is keeping the numbers strong. Lou walks away frustrated, convinced the real robber is still out there. Meanwhile, Davis texts Maya under the name Mike and asks her to dinner. She agrees. That night she apologizes for being late and jokes that at least the red light crash led to a date. They talk. He claims he works in banking software and moves around often. After a while, Maya admits she is unsure about them. The restaurant feels too formal and she says she would never normally come to a place like this. Davis agrees. They leave and head to a simple street food spot where the atmosphere feels natural. Over food, Mia asks about his last relationship. He says work pulled him away. She then asks what motivates him. Without hesitation, he answers money. Finally, she asks if he could restart his life with the push of a button. Would he do it? Davis says yes. Mia looks at him surprised by how quickly he answered. When Davis asks Mia the same question, would she restart her life? She says no. She explains that it feels sad to erase everything, even the painful parts. Mia tells him she works for a publicist, managing music, musicians, and actors. She has seen wealthy people up close, and no matter how much they have, it is never enough. Davis says he is different. He has a number in mind, just enough to feel safe. There is a quiet pause between them. He asks if she would like to meet again. She smiles and says maybe. After a moment, that maybe turns into a soft yes. After she leaves, Davis watches the television nearby. Breaking news reports a robbery in Santa Barbara. It happened just after 10:00 a.m. at a high-end jewelry store in the Central Commercial District. The suspect wore a motorcycle helmet the entire time, hiding his face. The reporter connects it to a string of high-profile robberies across Southern California. Police are asking for witnesses. At the police station, the team reviews the case. Witnesses are useless. No one saw the robber's face. One terrified employee even humiliated himself, leading to dark jokes in the room about the 101 robber. Lou studies the footage carefully. Something feels wrong. The location, timing, and method match the pattern he predicted, but the behavior does not. Their usual suspect avoids violence. This robbery was aggressive and chaotic. Lou believes either the criminal changed or someone else carried it out. Meanwhile, Davis confronts Money about the Santa Barbara job. He demands his share, saying it was his plan. Money argues that Davis stepped away, so he gave it to someone else. Davis insists it was about trust, not money. Money dismisses him and warns that without him, Davis would not be where he is. They part with tension unresolved. Later, Money meets Orman with a new strategy. Instead of robbing couriers themselves, they will let Davis do the work, then rob him afterward. Let him take the risk, then take everything. Money gives Orman the name of a tech contact Davis uses and tells him to watch that connection. Davis will eventually appear. Soon after, Davis collects new information from his contact. As he leaves, Orman secretly tags his car with a tracker. Back at his apartment, Davis studies Sharon's schedule and personal details. The next day, he meets her casually outside. He compliments her car. She jokes that life is too short for boring cars and mentions Elvis once said something similar. Davis plays along, saying he would drive a gold Cadillac. She asks what he drives. He replies that it depends on the day. Today, something with character. She laughs and says she should join his line of work if he can switch cars like that. He challenges her to guess the model. If she guesses right, he says he will hand her the keys. She thinks for a moment and guesses a Chevy Chevrolet. She even guesses the color, racing green. She gets the color right, but not the model. Smiling, she says 1 out of 2 is not bad. They finally introduce themselves properly. He says his name is Mike. She says Sharon. They shake hands and the connection feels natural. At the police station, the team reviews the final camera image from the robbery. Lou asks again if the suspect appeared on the 101 freeway. The answer is still no. Lou concludes the robber must have switched cars somewhere within the 30 blocks between the last camera and the freeway. He insists they search the entire area. Later, Maya visits Davis's music house. She notices how empty it feels. No photos, no personal history. He gives short answers about his past. She calls him a mystery. She turns on music and pulls him into a dance, joking that someone needs to teach him how to be human. Slowly, he relaxes. She asks if he is happy. When she asks if she should stay, he hesitates, then says yes. The next morning, Davis realizes he is being followed. He searches his car and finds a tracker. He immediately relocates to a new apartment. At the same time, Lou discovers the abandoned getaway car in a parking garage. Forensics find a drop of blood. Lou sends it for DNA testing. Hopeful. Davis later meets Sharon at an art museum. Over dinner, she explains her job ensuring wealthy clients. She says she studies people, their habits, weaknesses, and risks. When Davis asks what she sees in him, she says he looks controlled, like someone who grew up without stability. Then Davis reveals the truth. Their meeting was intentional. He knows about her and he wants to make a business offer. Sharon quickly understands he is a thief. She refuses, saying she built her life honestly. Davis argues that the rich clients she protects are not innocent either. She stands up and walks away. Outside, Davis spots the same rider who has been following him. He chases him. The rider, Orman, crashes and runs into a shop. Confronted, he eventually admits someone paid him to watch Davis. The message is clear. Davis is being set up. Meanwhile, Sharon runs into Lou at a yoga class. The mood is light until Lou gets a call about a suspicious man near the 101. Officers respond. Shots are fired. A young man falls. Lou insists he did not see a weapon, but others claim the suspect had a gun. Their reports do not match. The department pressures Lou to align with the official version. He refuses. He and the others are suspended pending investigation. At the insurance office, Mellon is praised for securing Monroe's massive wedding policy at the Beverly Wilshire, including over $5 million in diamond gifts. Sharon privately confronts Mark about her delayed partnership. He postpones it again and makes a subtle comment about her age, implying clients prefer someone younger. Sharon realizes the promotion may never come. Soon after, Lou receives the DNA results and studies them closely. At the same time, Sharon changes course. She contacts Davis and agrees to his proposal. She reveals that a courier from Antwerp will deliver watches and gems worth $5.5 million for a billionaire's wedding at the Beverly Wilshire. Armed guards will escort the courier. The buyer is paying cash to avoid taxes, meaning nearly $1 million will be present. Davis asks about the cash security. Sharon is unsure. The insurance only covers the jewels. Davis hesitates. It sounds risky. Sharon looks at him and says, "This is different. $11 million, walk-away money." Davis tells Sharon that walk-away money only matters if you can actually walk away with it. He asks what changed her mind. After a pause, Sharon admits that sometimes you realize you do not have as much time left as you thought. Meanwhile, Lou visits the address listed under James Davis. A woman answers the door. Lou introduces himself as Detective Lubesnick and asks if she knows James. Her reaction tells him she does. Later, Davis listens to a forwarded voicemail from the same woman asking James to call her back. When he finally speaks to her, she tells him the police came asking questions and said they were concerned about his safety. Now Davis knows the investigation is closing in. He meets Sharon again to confirm details about the courier. She estimates the arrival will be Friday or Saturday before the Sunday wedding. Davis gives her a disposable phone and instructs her to destroy the SIM card after each call. She is surprised by his intensity, but he insists that caution is everything. Days later, Sharon obtains detailed security information. But before she can act, Orman attacks her and threatens her life. Terrified, she gives him the same heist details she shared with Davis. Shaken, she goes to Lou and confesses everything. Her involvement, the plan, the money. Lou warns her that by her own words, she is part of a felony conspiracy. If this goes official, she could lose her career and freedom. For her safety, he tells her not to stay at home and offers his place temporarily. Then he asks for everything she knows about Mike. Lou digs deeper in the evidence room, connecting clues about Davis. At the same time, Davis tells Maya he has to leave town for work. She senses the distance between them. She tells him she likes him but does not know him. No photos, no past, no friends. He asks her to wait. She asks for what? He talks about money and growing up without choices. She believes he already has what he needs. He says nothing. She leaves. On the day of the wedding operation, Davis heads toward the airport while Orman prepares separately. Lou, undercover as Mr. Foster, meets the courier and makes small talk about cars and old films like the Thomas Crown affair. Everything feels calm on the surface. Sharon confronts Mellon at the office, warning her not to trust the firm's promises. She realizes she has given years to a company that never intended to make her partner. At the Beverly Wilshire, the plan unfolds. Davis enters the room, pulls a gun, and orders Monroe and security to their knees. The diamonds are placed in a bag. The cash is inside the safe. Suddenly, Lou draws his weapon and tells Davis he is under arrest. Davis says he has never hurt anyone and does not want to start now. The standoff tightens. Then Orman bursts in and points his gun at both of them. Without hesitation, he shoots Monroe. In the chaos, Davis fires back and kills Orman. When it is over, Lou tells Davis he knows who he is, the 101 robber, and promises he will make sure he never works again. Davis counters by reminding Monroe that if the police investigate the cash and jewels too closely, tax evasion and illegal imports will surface. Monroe understands the threat. Lou calls for backup and reports 2 victims down. Later, life appears to move on. Davis sends Mia a message trying to repair what they lost. As a strange gesture, he sends Lou his car. Lou takes it for a drive, the engine smooth and powerful as the city moves forward like nothing ever happened. The end. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more.